Welcome to Crackers and Goo, a game of patterns that teaches math and delights you. In this video we will explore math strategies to repeatedly add numbers that are hundreds with a 9 in the tens place. These numbers are 190, 290, 390, 490, 590, 690, 790, 890, and 990. The strategies you will learn in this video will enable you to be more quick and accurate when repeatedly adding or multiplying these numbers. Let's hit the I button or the info button on the lower right of the screen. And on the left hand side you'll see the step button. Let's select that. This takes us to the step menu. On the bottom of the step menu you will see the sneaker next to the number 12. That's step 12. The description of step 12 is round and multiply 190, 290, 390, etc. In step 12 of Crackers and Goo you will find games where you can apply these strategies. Our first example shows a pattern where each cracker contains the number 990. Let's go ahead and finish the pattern. Hit the play button, and we're alternating between light blue and red. Blue, red, blue, red. Now we'll pause the game so we can study the math we need to perform to calculate the total for the last pattern. Notice that the number 990 is only 10 away from 1,000. It is much easier to repeatedly add or find the product of 1,000 than it is with the number 990. The number 1,000 is what is known as a friendly number because it is easy to perform calculations with 1,000. Our math strategy will be to turn 990s into thousands. We just need to make sure to subtract away as many tens as we use to turn 990s into thousands. We then have that 990 plus 990 plus 990 plus 990 is the same as 4 990s, or 4 times 990. And we can turn 4 times 990 into 4 times 1,000 minus 4 times 10. We have to take away 4 tens because we turn 4 990s into 4,000s. So we then have that 4 times 1,000 minus 4 times 10 is equal to 4,000 minus 40, which is 3,960. We will add 4,000 to the previous total and then subtract away 40. Our previous total is 5,940. We add 4,000 to that. That gives us 9,940. We take away 40 and we end up with 9,900. Let's go ahead and finish the game, and we're going to look for the 9,900 total bubble, and there it is. Great, we've completed the game successfully. Now I'm going to look at the upper left corner, and we see the button with numbers and symbols. This will get us to the how-to screen so we can see the actual math we talked about in the video within the game. You can see the equations right below the shrunken pattern. The next example shows the same pattern as the first example, except in this game each cracker contains the number 590. Let's go ahead and finish the pattern. So we're alternating between light brown crackers and light blue crackers, all of them holding the number 590. So we finish the pattern. Now I will pause the game so we can study the math we need to perform to calculate the total for the last pattern. Notice that the number 590 is only 10 away from 600. It is much easier to repeatedly add or find the product of 600 than it is with the number 590. The number 600 is a more friendly number to perform calculations with than 590. Our math strategy will be to turn 590s into 600s. We just need to make sure to subtract away as many tens as we use to turn 590s into 600s. We then have that 590 plus 590 plus 590 plus 590 is equal to 4 590s, or 4 times 590. And using our strategy, we turn our 590s into 600s, so we obtain 4 times 590 is the same as 4 times 600. Subtract away 4 times 10, and that obtains 2,400 minus 40, which is 2,360. We will add 2,400 to the previous total and then subtract away the 40. Our previous total was 3,540. We will add the 2,400 to that, and that will give us 5,940. And we need to subtract our 40 away, so 5,940 minus 40 gives us 5,900. Let's go ahead and find our 5,900 total bubble. There it is. Drag it into play, and we successfully completed the game. Let's go to the how-to screen by selecting the button on the top left with the numbers and symbols to see the actual math we talked about in the video within the game. Notice the equations again below the shrunken pattern. The last example demonstrates a more challenging pattern. Notice that the last pattern is made by completely encircling the previous pattern with crackers. A total of 16 crackers are needed to make the outer boundary of the square. Notice also that each cracker in the pattern contains a value of 990. Let's complete the pattern. And inside we have a pink 990. Now I'll pause the game so we can study the math we need to perform to calculate the total for the last pattern. We will find the total value of the pattern by adding the sum of 16 990s to the previous total. We will start by using the same math strategy we used in the first example. We will turn the 990s into 1000s. We just need to make sure to subtract away as many tens as we use to turn 990s into thousands. We then have that repeat adding 16 990s is the same as or equal to 16 times 990. Notice that 16 990s or 16 times 990 can be broken up into 10 990s and 6 990s. We can apply this to 16 times 990 as follows. 16 times 990 is equal to 10 times 990 plus 6 times 990. Now we'll apply our strategy and turn our 990s into thousands. We then have that 10 times 1000 plus 6 times 1000 minus 16 tens. Remember, we rounded up 16 of those 990s into 1000, so we have to subtract away 16 tens. 10 times 1000 is 10,000, 6 times 1000 is 6,000, and 16 times 10 is 160. So we have that 10,000 plus 6,000 minus 160, and that is equal to 16,000 minus 160. We must now add the result of 16,000 minus 160 to the previous total of 8,910. We can use another strategy where we're going to pull out 300 from the 16,000 and use 100 of it to add to the 8,910, and the remaining 200 we'll use to subtract 160 away from. We then have that 8,910 plus 16,000 minus 160 is equal to 8,910 plus 300, that's the 300 we pulled out of 16,000, plus 15,700, that's what remains from 16,000 when we pull away the 300, and then the minus 160. And that's equal to 8,910 plus 100. We're going to use 100 out of the 300 to add to the 8,910, plus our 15,700, plus 200 minus 160 in parentheses. We're going to use the remaining 200 and subtract 160 away from that. We then have 9,010, that's 8,910 plus 100 gives us 9,010, plus 15,700, and 200 minus 160 produces 40. So we just have to add 9,010 plus 15,700 plus 40. That's a relatively easy addition, and we obtain 24,750. Let's go ahead and look for that total bubble to complete the game. And there it is. Excellent. We can now go to the how-to screen by pressing the button on the top left that has numbers and symbols to see the actual math we talked about in the video within the game.